What is up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be doing a very simple install on my A90 Supra Cusco Strut brace. Rexpeed carbon fiber spoiler. Aw yeah. Alright, so here's everything that's contained in the Cusco strut brace kit. You have the left and right strut braces, along with the center cross member. You have three sets of bolts, two sets of nuts, some acorn nuts for the bolts that go through the body, and some just regular standard nuts for the center brace that connects to the main cross braces. Some random washers and lock washers. Instructions in Japanese, which is going to be super useful for us Americans. And then, of course, a sticker for 10 additional horsepower to your car. So this is everything that's contained inside the Rexpeed spoiler kit. It's pretty simple. You got the Rexpeed spoiler itself, a roll of 3M tape, a sticker for 10 extra horsepower, and instructions in Japanese. At least it's got pictures this time. Alright folks, so this is the inside of the engine compartment on the A90 Supra. So the factory is actually nice enough to have already included pre-drilled bungs for installing strut braces. So now the bungs on above the radiator here are actually tapped and ready to go, so you just thread in directly, and then but the opposite bungs on the actual struts themselves are actually just passed through, so you do need to go from inside the wheel well and hold a nut and tighten it down from up there. They do have some cables that tend to be in the way. Just make sure you push them out of the way so that they don't get pinched. And basically what happens is the strut brace connects right here and right there. Go through the body right here and into the radiator cap right there, the radiator top right there. There's a matching component that's going to go over here, and then a bar that goes across the middle, and that strengthens the whole system, so that way both of the struts don't flex as you drive fast down the road. So, unsurprisingly, everything is in metric on the Cusco brace. The acorn nuts are 17 millimeter. The nuts for the center brace are 12 millimeter. You need a 6 millimeter and an 8 millimeter Allen key to tighten everything down. I'm going to take one washer and one of my bolts for the threaded portion. I'm going to go ahead and put the brace here, and I'm going to go ahead and start this short bolt right here. Just finger tightening everything for the time being. Don't want to force anything, don't want to cross thread. Just trying to get the brace in place here. Going to do so on the other side as well. On this side, there's really nothing in your way. So you should be able to just lay that down without worrying about any cables or anything of that nature that you don't want to pinch. Now, one thing to note, that once you put the strut brace in, you do have to remove the strut brace in order to change out your air filter. So if that's something that you're planning on having to do a lot, or if there's any work that you need to do, I recommend doing that first before you put on your strut brace. I need to go in and reach underneath the wheel well in order to put on this next bolt. Now, something to note, if you've already lowered your Supra, it's really tight underneath here. There's really nothing that you can see. You kind of sort of have to feel underneath the wheel well to find the hole. So if you've lowered it, you might have some issues. You might need to turn the car. You might need to lift it up on some jacks. But with the stock Supra, stock ride height, I can reach under there with my hands with no issue. Very tight fit, especially if you got big fat guy arms such as myself. All right. Finger tightening that down. Now I would show you what it looks like underneath there, but there really isn't much to see. Can't really get the camera in there, so sadly don't really have much to show. And I'm gonna go do the same thing on the other side. Now that I got the two braces finger tightened to the frame, I'm gonna go ahead and install the center bracket and get it tightened and get everything aligned before I tighten everything down. And you can put the bolt in any direction that you like, whatever your preference. You have the bolt facing up or down, the acorn not going either way. Shouldn't make a big difference either way. Alrighty, so I've determined that I like it better with the acorn nut going towards the engine. So now that I got that all mocked up, just want to make sure I get everything in alignment the way I want to see it. Go ahead and just put my Allen key in here and tighten it down. So that's nice and secure. Choose the 8mm, or the 8 regular bolts, I should say. Those are nice and tight. Alright, now we got to tighten down the wheel wells. Make sure that you have everything nice and tight. You don't want anything coming loose when you're going around the track. I do recommend that you drive the vehicle around for a little bit, come back, tighten everything down again, just to make sure that nothing's coming loose. Don't forget to add your sticker for that additional 10 extra horsepower that it gives you. And now, of course, the moment that you've all been waiting for. Alright, so first things first, you want to prep the surface area. Now, since we're gluing the Rexpeed spoiler on with just a 3M tape, you want to make sure that there's no film, extra cleaners, wax, or anything like that on there. So use a nice clean rag with some alcohol on it and just go and clean the area and make sure that there's no salt, there's nothing on there that can interfere with the 3M tape. So I've gone ahead and I have applied the 3M tape all along the edge of my Rexpeed spoiler. So make sure that you run the tape along, the edge. There's some molded lines that are already there for you. Just make sure that when you're doing it, you go evenly. Use as much of this tape as you can possibly fit along the edges here. Rexpeed is kind enough to give you an entire roll. I did have some left over, so don't worry about if you've screwed up and you feel you've ruined a piece of your section. You have plenty of tape to go in and redo any sections that you need to redo. I have the 3M tape is all installed along the edge of the spoiler. I've peeled over the edges and the middle here of the red backing, and I just taped it along the edge so it'd just be easier for me to find it. And the idea is that I'm going to go ahead and place the spoiler on the vehicle, get it lined up. Once I have a nice line and I think it's in the right position, I'll go through, peel these, and just peel the red tape out, and then put pressure and place the spoiler on the car. Now, when you put it on, you want to make sure that you're pressing in from the center and going out to the edges. You want to make sure you got a good, nice line. And the reason why you don't want to peel the red off entirely before you place it is so that you can do whatever adjustments you need to do easily. The 3M tape does not get hard right away. It takes about 15 minutes or so for it to get to about 70% cohesion, and then 24 hours to actually fully set. So we've gone ahead and made sure that our lines look clean. Pressing in a little bit here on the edges. Make sure that we're nice and tight here along the car. Alright, so press in the center. Got good lines. Alright, we'll go ahead and start back here. Pulling gently on that red tape. Pulling it out. Don't want to pull hard or fast because I don't want any of this to get stuck inside the spoiler. I want all this to be removed. Now we're going to go from the top center. Just going forward with it. Press down as you go if you feel the need. Now remember, this is going to take about 24 hours to set, so you do not want to wash the car, drive real fast, go in a wind tunnel, anything of that nature while this is drying. It also helps, if you can, put this on in a nice sunny day, with the car heat up a little bit, or the panels heat up a little bit. Makes it easier for the glue to adhere. If you don't have painter's tape or anything like that nature, it doesn't matter. Use electrical tape, whatever you got. You don't need to do it, just recommended. Another thing you can do is you can actually put some tape along the edge of this while it's hardening, just to make sure it stays in place if you do have to drive it around for whatever reason. Last one. All in all, this is a relatively easy install. The only tool required is a nice sharp pair of scissors to cut the 3M tape. No, the TRD spoiler is not currently in the United States. The MSRP on the TRD spoiler, from my understanding, is $2,200. It's $2,200. The Rexpeed spoiler, which in my opinion looks identical to the TRD spoiler, was a grand total of $500 MSRP. I think I paid $420 for it. Thank you to Titan Motorsports. And I was able to get it today. I know of one person who somehow got an early release version of the TRD spoiler, and he's going to be the first privately owned TRD spoiler, and his still is in LA, and he's not set to get it until next week. And yet here I am with my spoiler on already. Easy to install, easy to glue on, and for literally a quarter of the price, less than a quarter of the price, you have a spoiler that looks just as good. They're both dry carbon, both high quality materials. Some people even joke that they're actually made in the same factory and that they are the same exact spoiler, but who's to say? But there you go, folks. The Rexpeed carbon fiber spoiler A90 2020 Supra. That is a thing of beauty. My name is William King. This is Death Scythe Engineering, and I hope you have an awesome day.